I am here today with Lynn. Lynn, tell us a little bit about what you do and the therapies that you combine.
Yeah, I'm originally an acupuncturist, and then for the fate, I become a craniosacral therapist, and these two work together perfectly for me because when I'm using my hand only, it's almost like 100 needles in between my hands. So it's the same body, and we all work on the fascia and energy. So it's really like a 1 + 1 = 5 situation.
No, I was telling you when I saw online that you did both of them. I haven't seen that combination before. And you were telling me a bit about how you started in acupuncture and it's kind of led you more into the cranial. So what was that journey?
It was 10 years ago here in Bali. I had a motorbike accident, and I was unconscious in blood for half an hour. So 5 stitches here, and it knocked 4 teeth out of me straight away. So
wow.
After that, it was this concussion. Yes, yeah. I was so bad in memory. My memory doesn't stay more than 2 seconds in my head. So at that time, some of my clients say, "Oh, you have to see this person, and he's a craniosacral therapist." And he also had a motorbike accident, and he needed an acupuncturist. So we start to do exchange. No, we start to do exchange every week, and they last like 2 years. That was the reason I get into this cranial world. In the very first, I still remember my first cranial session. It was 1 whole hour gone. Like I have no idea. I just feel like my brain was soaked in a sauna room. And when I came back, I had no clue what happened, and I don't know what was that, but I was lucky. I had the training lasted 2 whole years, so it just become naturally a part of me. For me to go into that, because I had more physical knowledge than let's say average cranial therapist training. So for me, I adopted this very, very naturally. So even now, my teacher is my best friend, and then we will always do exchange together.
You have a nice community here, know of other craniosacral?
Yes, we actually used to used to have weekly meetings during the pandemic, but now everybody is too busy.
For someone who hasn't received cranial before, doesn't know what craniosacral is, how would you explain it?
Oh, God, this is the most difficult part of the work. For me, basically, we go into this deep conscious space, and then it allows the fascia to expand, and all the old trauma or whatever cause makes the body closed and stuck gets to be released. It's almost like butter melting. And after that, the energy starts to flow, and then lots of the problem will disappear automatically. So lots of people come first time say, I have bad sleep, I have difficult digestion, and they think it's individual isolated symptom, but for me, it's all part of the whole system. So I actually often joke my work is a combination of detective story and a renovation project. So this is
very much so.
You know this.
Yes,
so everybody come, and then I ask people. It's very creepy. I ask people, "Can you take off your clothes, only leave the underwear, and start to walk back and forth in front of me?" I'm just doing all the analyze.
Is anyone like a little taken aback by that, or they're pretty?
No, so far everybody is good on this. They know they have to. I'm not putting them into a X-ray machine or MRI. I'm just asking them to walk in front of me. This is the least. So I think I take a lots of advantage of being female. A lot of things. I was like, God, you know, most people, the first thing I start into the therapy, I say, can I touch your tailbone? This is going to be so weird if I'm a man.
That is true.
That
is true. During our session, which I loved, you were describing going into the ocean, and the way you described it, I feel like it's really helpful for meditation too, but you were kind of explaining like going beyond the pain of the body. Is that something that people can use as a mindset, or can, like, would that be helpful for people to know?
I had years of practice, and for me, this is always about how do I make my clients to be able to open as much as possible. But because if they decide to close, there's very little I can do. I'm almost like fixing a computer. You have to give me access because I'm not a hiker. The client always have the higher priority to be in control of the body. So when they determine that the body have to listen to them and stay closed, there's nothing I can persuade. So I have more than decades of Vipassana meditation experience. So for me, it's part of this. And to know how to use and control your nerve system to be in the parasympathetic mode instead of panic and then seize. This is crucially important for good cranial session.
And you were mentioning that it helps a lot with trauma. So is that like physical trauma, like the motorbike, and like if you were dropped on your head as a baby, or is it also emotional trauma too? Emotional
as well. And actually, one of my biggest ambitions is to work on birth trauma, because so far it's the most difficult part. And still I have only very little success rate, but still a lot I want to crack, because I actually, every time when people come, the first time once they sat down, I've already started to analyze how they sit, how they use their body, how they move their neck and jaw. And once they take clothes off, I can see, oh gosh, this person have birth trauma. I can see from the figure. And sometimes when I touch the people, I've already be able to say, have you been really scared? And then I always get positive feedback, because what our emotion and experience all leave a mark on the physical body.
True.
Yeah. Once they open up, it's again, the emotions it's part of the expression of the nerve system, and then the nerve system would be able to, let's say, control the diaphragm to cease, and this will leave a mark on the physical structure.
Right.
So for me, my work is really focused on the alignment of the structure to reset, if possible, to analyze a system, see what's the most of reset and trace back of the system. That's my work.
I love how you're talking about detective, and that's your next case you want to crack. So have there been other cases that you've cracked of like similar traumas or accidents that you saw sometimes, like in our...
This is what I deal with every day. Every single case I see in that way. Well, the most common will be people come because they sit on in front of computer to laugh.
True.
And especially lots of digital nomad in town, they work in the cafe. Depends on how high is the desk and how comfortable is the chair, and people have the bad habit of work on their bed.
Right.
It's terrible. So I work on them, and also I think more important, I tell them what is the right thing to do, how do they use their body correctly. It's almost like every machine need to have a manual to say how to operate it. If we are descendant of monkeys, we're not designed to be sitting
No.
and work a whole day long. So, but people
Push themselves.
often they use the body wrong, not just sit in front of computer, but also they work out too little or too much. And that also impacts a lot. I have more people come here, did something wrong in the gym or in a yoga class and hurt their spine. And
Yeah, yoga can be quite
yeah.
can cause
It's really
challenges.
I think it's important we know how to communicate with our body, not only what the head wants.
And I feel so many, at least what I've seen, so many people are really in the head. And I know for me, I used to be really disconnected to my body. And so I've been in the process of feeling more my body and understanding it more. But are there any practices or advice you could give someone to better understand their body or what they do if they are working kind of 8 hours a day on the laptop?
I think the core of my work is about unity. If you can say, in my head, we human is like a Russian doll, so it's different layers. Or you could say it's like a pyramid. The base will be the structure of the physical body, and then on top will be the energy body, the emotional body, the psychic, the soul, and then it's about we need to align all of them together. So I often tell my clients to say, just imagine yourself as a group of three. So your physical body, your mind, and your soul. Every time when you make a decision, you ask all three of them.
Oh, I love that.
They vote. It's not only the mind wants this, but it's not only the body wants this, but your soul and your mind will say, no, we don't want this. So when you eat a big chunk of cake, vote first. So it's like that.
And the mental and kind of physical body are probably easier to test. How does someone know the vote of their soul? Because that can be a tricky one, right?
I think it's important people think of death. It's one of the most important lessons, I think, in life. If you think, because in my life, I see people dying and I see friends and family pass away. And when you think the end, and then you think what is the purpose of your journey, and then you really calculate what is the priority. What is important in life for what you want to arrange your energy and time in.
Right. Is there any advice you want to, or any wisdom you would share from your own healing journey for people who are on the path, maybe looking for different therapies?
So this unity, I think, for me, it's the most important. I'm coming from the Asian wisdom background, so for me, Buddhist and Taoist is always a natural part of me. And so we believe all the suffering bring wisdom, and so this unity of me, my physical body, my mind, and my soul, and the universe, the sky, the earth, the different climate. For me, thanks to that accident, I get to be inside this cranial world. Actually, this is an interesting story here. So, along my healing journey for myself, also my Vipassana meditation background, there was once, many years ago, there was once in the meditation, something starts to move. I think it's fascia. Well, the cranial have many different bones on the head. One part of the bone starts to
During meditation.
shift. This is normal. It's like in the cranial part, but at that time it was me sitting, but the fascia starts to move and things starts to rearrange and try to reset, and then move, and it gets more and more dramatic until, for a moment, feel this line of the bone moved. It almost like cracked, and then suddenly tears all over my face, and then I feel something open up and light come in.
Wow!
And that was really the game changer moment for my professional life. And after that, I think I had 2 weeks stay home only, and it was almost like 20 minutes sitting meditation, 20 minutes lying down, because lots of things cannot move when you sit in a limited position. And then at that time, all the fascia start to move dramatically inside my body. I'm awake, so I know clearly, this is interesting. This meridian is realigning, and that is moving, and I feel like I'm in this inside of this three-dimensional fascia world inside my body. It's almost like time traveling. I feel the tension here, and they're struggling with each other, and all of a sudden that feet, the small toe moved, and then the bone relocate. It's like that. Wow. And after that, I spent almost 2 years every day, at least 5 hours during daytime, lying down there and into this.
Wow.
It's a cranial world, so I'm like inside my own training program.
Right.
And after that, I think spiritually, lots of things opening up as well. And so every second, I feel the outside world is like integration with my inside world. I feel everything unite at the same time, as clearly as the wind goes through forest and the sky color change. So for that is this word of my individual body in connection with the universe. And that's part of how, that's really changed how I think of everything. I don't think myself as a healer to be in this world to help people, but I'm living in this entire being, and I'm just being part of it naturally. It's like I follow the wind and flow.
Is it easy to follow the wind and flow now that you've kind of gotten?
It's almost the same, like in the session I tell you, forget you have a body. Yeah, as long as I don't feel I am somebody, and then it's easy.
Wow, so you're doing 5 hours a day for how long again?
2 years.
2 years.
5 to 7 hours every day.
Wow. What time of day would you do?
It's just like
whenever you could.
being completely a caveman. When the work come, I work. When they come, I happily get on the table again.
Wow, so that was really your training program.
It was very intense training. I
Instead of going to a mountain or a cave.
See, all the things, I'm so grateful, because before that, I'm being an acupuncturist. I know all the meridians by book. But after that, I know this. I really live in that.
From the inside, right?
Yeah. I'm sure 2,000 years ago, my ancestor, the Chinese, discovered the meridian system because of an experience like that.
Yeah. And the fascia, you were talking about earlier in the session. I told you I felt like I had like an ant crawling on me, and you were saying that's the fascia, like
The
the
fascia is moving. Yeah.
Very interesting experience.
Yeah, so because I know how the fascia move inside my body, then I know how the fascia move in your body, and then I kind of like control it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by living and having that internal experience, you've been able to help others with their journey. It makes a lot of sense.
For us, I think people work on physical health. The most amazing, fascinating thing is the design of human body. It's almost like a religion for us. Yeah. So we're not trying to change something. We just give the smallest push to get the system back to the old track, the original design perfection track.
Right, because the body can heal itself. It's about helping to push it, and that's what I do as well in the energy work, releasing blockages so that the own intelligence of the body can work itself out. And so you said, is your family from holistic health? Are they? Nope, you're the first. Okay. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Lynn. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you are headed to Bali, I highly recommend that you check out Lynn at Green Healing CST and experience firsthand acupuncture and craniosacral, a winning combination. My name is Brooke Richardson. I am bringing you insights, experts from around the world providing their knowledge on healing and awakening to help support you in your journey. So hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more upcoming episodes. Stay awake and let's land the light.